Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what life advice can just fuck off? Cheaters never prosper. Yes, they fucking do. From politicians to celebrities and beyond. It's a high-risk /high-reward strategy. We don't tend to hear about the ones who tried to cheat their way into money and power and fame and failed before they got anywhere. Ignore the bullying and it will go away. Like WTF is that logic? If you are actively letting bullying happen to you, it will only get worse, in my experience. This is why I teach my kids to be nice, until it's time not to be nice. Everyone should know how to stand up for themselves to some extent. Don't you start it, but if you have to, then it's okay to finish it. I've explicitly told my kids it's okay to shove kids back when they're being pushed around. If they get in trouble for it at school, they won't be in trouble with me. Money doesn't bring happiness, maybe not, but with it I can pursue the things that make me happy. Not having to worry about paying bills, fixing your car, etc. brings a whole lot of contentment. Edit, it's like anything else in life, in that blindly pursuing any external source of contentment or validation will leave one disappointed and empty. Same for relationships, fame, professional advancement, etc. Money affects us also. It's slightly different in that respect, but if you have enough money to pay your bills and be comfortable, that's one less source of concern. I also have faith and an awesome family, and that's the true source of my happiness. Having enough money allows me to focus more on those things and less on the distractions. Everybody has the same time. If you can afford to pay for services, then you have more time for yourself. At least being rich means the threat of starving and being homeless is not one of the things making me unhappy. Being rich or even just well off means you can move anywhere you want, because of scenery, or to the best school districts in the country. Your kids can pursue literally any career they want for anything, if it's their passion, and so can you. Without the threat of homelessness and bankruptcy based on your days, weeks or months' actions. You can do things like save for retirement, which is basically non-existent in the foreseeable future, which pulls the stress of endless working from your former future. You can go to the doctor regularly, get blood work, maybe even minor surgeries or medications that currently cause you chronic and compounding problems that will only get worse the longer you're untreated. A sudden personal tragedy can be focused solely upon, without it just being a new and terrible thing on the already big heap. Being able to go out to eat with family, or go on a vacation with friends after losing a loved one would sure take the sting out of things. You can pay someone, and pay them well, to do the inconvenient things that cause fights between spouses, such as laundry, dishes, and house projects, so that instead you can focus your time on purely enjoyable things that cause little friction. You can take faster, nicer modes of transportation for vacations. The days of the family road trip crammed into a small car can become a 3-hour flight, or a really nice RV rental where everyone has all their own space, creature comforts, and bathroom. And for all of the above, you don't even have to be all that wealthy to achieve either. But they're family. I didn't know being related stopped people from being us. On the flip side, if we're family, why are you treating me like shit in the first place? Edit. How is this advice? Because I'm sure we've all been told at one point or another to forgive/apologize to an abusive family member, simply because we're related, as if that changes anything. Hope that clears it up. Dom Toretto is coming for you. How well you remember that movie, but Dom's family were all people he chose. His sister was the only one blood related to him. I've been told, but he's your dad, so many times. People are stunned when I respond with, then why doesn't anybody tell him that I'm his son? Shit, I gotta use that LMAO. Love your family no matter what. Mate, some people have families that are just cancer. Okay, cool, I did not think this would blow up with such an overwhelming level of positive reinforcement. Thank you all for the comments, and the awards. My first gold too. Not my line, but one I love, something like: you've only got one family. But you also got only one appendix, and if that fucker's trying to kill you, you cut that shit out. Follow your dreams and you'll never work a day in your life. My version is capitalizing on dreams can be the fastest method of turning them into nightmares. In trying to make a career out of your hobby. Instead of a job that feels like a hobby, your hobby now feels like a job. Happens all the time with YouTubers. Just get over it. Most people would if they could. I completely agree. My wife was raped and molested when she was younger, maybe 20 years ago. Everyone tells her to get over it. It was so long ago. It is easier said than done. My wife goes to therapy and is a lot better mentally than she once was, but she still has her bad days. My job as a husband is to love her no matter what and to give her good memories to overshadow the bad ones. Crazy how people can just say get over it for things like this. Kill em with kindness. Fuck that. Sometimes a person needs to be told what's up. I live in a condo complex and one of my neighbors is a total bitch. She's bullied more than one person into selling their unit and moving to get away from her. She tried bullying me at one point a few years ago and found out it wasn't possible. I'm not scared of her and I'm not one of those people who needs to be liked or who always tries to be kind. I've told her off, in front of others, a couple times. I kill that bitch with kindness every chance I get. For example, I'll be out with my dogs and she'll walk by with a couple of the women who she has turned into her little toadies and I will call out, "Good morning, Linda. Have a great day." And because others are present she feels compelled to respond politely. She fucking hates it. And it makes my day. Vintage Americana. I love it. Me and my neighbor don't really get along, and the seething ferment behind our plastic smiles is enjoyable. I mean we get along well enough, but no invites are sent for summer barbecue and no Christmas sweets are exchanged. Anything involving the idea of soulmates can really set you up for a big fall. Me and my friends have a theory. Sometimes you just come across people in your life that you have some sort of indescribable connection with. This is our definition of soulmates. We call them soul friends, and there's no limit of how many you can come across. I think The Good Place did a good job with the concept of soulmates. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. As though being told to do something doesn't kill the joy. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Cause that field isn't hiring. Be rich then you can do any shit. Probably better advice. Don't be depressed, there are other people doing worse than you. Thanks, I know that and try to help them sometimes but that won't help my depression leave just because I compare myself to other people having a worse life than me. I just saw a suggested response on another sub. If someone says, don't be depressed, there are people worse off than you, you can reply with, don't be happy, there are people much better off than you. A classmate of mine once said, oh, did your son die? Well, you shouldn't cry, because 5 of mine died in response to this dumbass argument. You have it easy, just think about a cry. Thanks, my problems are still there but now I get to think about childer getting blown up as well. Recently have been getting through depression after it almost drove me to alcoholism partially due to a bad roommate situation I was trying to get out of. Someone told to me to try and stick it out a little while longer and told me at least you're not in a bomb shelter in Kyiv. Like gee thanks, as if thinking about those poor people going through that is going to make me feel better. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Nope, not true. Some things leave you permanently changed, and not always for the better. Yes, it is possible, and oftentimes a good thing. To try and find silver linings regarding crummy situations, but to completely ignore how something may hurt someone is absolutely foolish. What doesn't kill you, makes you wish it had. Ah, good, a smoking wreck. I feel so much stronger now. If only I'd had some of that strength before the catastrophe, maybe it wouldn't have been so fucking catastrophic. Never go to bed angry. When you're tired and cranky, that's not the best time to solve your problems. Get some sleep, clear your head, and talk about it in the morning, preferably after breakfast, so you're not hangry. Halt reacting to an issue until you're not hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. It's good fucking advice. Eat. Chill yourself out. Talk to a friend. Sleep. Then deal. Barring relationship-breaking issues, I take this more as advice to set aside the daily bullshit before bed, and still tell your partner you love and appreciate them. It goes both ways, of course. This is right, also works for co-workers /work stuff. In this day and age, a quick email reply that disregards others' feelings is a quick way to ruin everyone's perception of you. Alternatively, if you have nothing nice to reply with, just don't respond. It's okay to let it fall to the ether. Thought I'd respond with the work angle, since we're always focused on familial things. Never settle. Reach for the stars. Sometimes knowing your limits is a good thing. Otherwise you may refuse something good because you're trying to get something that'll never be possible. There's a saying you might like, don't let perfection be the enemy of progress. I've heard perfect is the enemy of good before. Everything happens for a reason, tell that to a mother who lost her son to a drunk driver. Edit, by this I mean, there was no point to the son dying. There is a cause, but no point. When my mom was dying of cancer, my cousin sent me a quote that said everything happens for a reason but crossed out, and underneath it said some things are just really, really shit and should never have happened. I prefer that sentiment. They had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. My mom is from the south and is deeply superstitious and she says this a lot. She had a really fucked up early life, so I assume that it was her coping method. Some people need to believe things happen for a reason as a way to cope. You need to believe that there is order in the universe in order to feel secure in it. I get it, especially in times of stress or grief when nothing feels like it makes any sense or has any fairness to it. That said, your coping mechanisms should remain your own. People should have the self-awareness and courtesy to not impress their own coping mechanisms on others.